Welcome to my podcast, episode 67 of The View from the Crow's Nest. And as predicted yesterday, today was a much more worky day. So not quite so much to discuss or to mull upon other than just do more work and get better at being more efficient. So I guess my focus today, or the realization or the remembrance today, was that classic idea that if you're working in your business, then you're not working on your business. And for anybody who wishes to grow their business in any kind of particular fashion, the focus should be on finding a way to work on your business rather than in it. So what I mean by that is, if you are the person who is delivering the product or service, you're kind of in operations and you're delivering that, if you're the person doing the admin for the business, if you're doing, the finances, the bookkeeping, all those things, then, or answering customer questions, customer support, etc., then you're working in your business. You're working in the day-to-day to keep it running, but you're not working on the business, which is the on is actually focused on the business as an entity rather than the customer. Obviously, the customer is paramount importance, but if you're working on the business, you're looking at how you can grow the business, how you can scale it, how you can improve things so that it grows, brings in more revenue, etc. So it's very easy, particularly when there's one of you. I mean, there's no other choice really when there's one of you, but it's very easy to be, to get into that rut almost where you're delivering and doing everything, you're wearing every hat. And the flip side is, it's called Superman syndrome, where you feel you can do everything or have to do everything. And very much a lot of business owners who have made the transition from employee into, business owner, but they started solo, just themselves. Probably they took some skills that they've had for their employee and then they became a freelancer or a consultant with those particular skills. I mean, that's a very common thing to do. You take expertise that you've built up in your industry for the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years or whatever, and then you go it alone. You go yourself and build up your own company. Or it might be something completely different. When I started the open mics, I certainly hadn't built up a professional experience of doing open mics, hadn't even built up an amateur experience of doing open mics, but I did see the business opportunity, and initially it was me doing everything, running the open mics, so delivering the service, the product, and trying to sell the open mics, get more clients, and answer all support tickets, i.e. speak to everybody who made inquiries about the open mics, all the performers, etc. And it's I had to wear every hat. But I knew that what I wanted to get to was other people doing this, so that I could focus on growing the brand, or focus on the sales and marketing of the actual product and service, bringing in more clients, the stuff that's really going to grow the business. And to be fair, even though I knew that's what I should be doing, it still took me a fair bit of time before I made that transition. I argued that it was difficult to find the right people, I wasn't sure, but I'm sure I could have made moves to make it happen sooner. So with Audience Ninja, my plan from the start has been to immediately try and get people on board and work on my business rather than in it. And so this is the third week, I think, of the business. And from day one, we had 2 clients, more or less. And from day one, we had 3 members of staff, including myself, 3 members on the team. So, that was really important. But what I've noticed is my real challenge at the moment is in creating the systems and the trust and everything to delegate to these people, to the 2 guys on the team, and to lead them, especially remotely. I've led a team as an employee for a bigger company and had a team under me in the office, and I've led a team for UK Open Mic where they've been sporadically spread around London, but nonetheless I've still seen them face to face a few times, and or quite a lot of times with some of them, and there's that bit of more closeness. And also it's very simple, it's a very simple thing. If they can run the open mic, then that's it. There's not too much that's going to pop up. But with Audience Ninja, there's a lot more individual tasks and skills that are needed, from creating artwork through to creating the websites and coding and limited coding, but still. So there's all these various different things that need to be ironed out, who's actually going to be doing what. And I noticed in the first 2 weeks, as much as I wanted to and as much as I tried, I thought, to get stuff out to the other guys, it's still been holding me back. and it's only in the third week, but I really want to improve that this week and certainly going into next week. So that's kind of my focus, is how I can bring myself back from that. And today, I started trying to move that process forward, moving more tasks over to the guys, even tasks that I thought I was going to be doing myself. I thought, actually, no, I really need to push them over, even if I don't think the guys are going to do the same job or even as good a job, because I'm more experienced in some of these areas than the other two guys. Nonetheless, if I want the business to grow, if I want to focus on working on the business, then this is what I need to do. And then that will free me up to focus on trying to get more clients in and do some of the stuff from the marketing side of the business that is really, really important and I've got ideas for, but just haven't had time. And then that extends to then also doing that for other projects which have been on the back burner. So Grip the Sky experience, it just needs a few tweaks and then it's ready to go, and I just haven't had the time to do anything with it. So this week I really want to make sure I start delegating, moving stuff over, and also start the process of shielding time where I work on the business. So what I might do is I might focus every day, the first block of work that I do in the day will be on the bigger picture stuff, will be on building the assets and the systems and the processes that are hopefully going to bring in new clients in a structured and more reliable and easy way. And then from there, then I'll get into the nitty gritty of dealing with the clients themselves and working on the individual tasks to do with them. And I think the last couple of weeks it's been a lot like that I've been in the business because of the nature of the first client's e-slot, and the fact that initially I'm the first port of call for both clients, because when I took them on I didn't have any team, even though I was planning on having one by the time we started. And so obviously the clients were used to dealing with me, and moving forward I obviously want to remove myself as the main go-to person, and I think that will help a lot, even though it's only early days. So that's the plan for this week, to move towards that, and then next week, maybe once I've got that a bit more in control, then I can focus on starting to move forward some of the other projects, which in turn will give work for Audience Ninja to do, because that's the whole idea of the agency, was to be an agency of people who are able to help expand our other projects as well, not just client stuff but our other ones. So if we're going to pay for that work, we may as well pay for it in-house and build up an agency that can do that, and then have other clients that can pay for those services as well. So that's my thinking for today. That's kind of the thoughts. And I felt quite overwhelmed midway through the afternoon or earlier in the afternoon, but I kind of got back on track, and now I'm starting to try and focus again on the bigger picture and not be drawn into the granular detail that is urgent but maybe and important for the clients, and therefore important for the company, but not important for the bigger picture. And I really want to keep myself focused on the bigger picture, because I think that's how we'll get to scale and move things forward much more quickly. I'm really determined with this particular business to move things forward very quickly, and remove myself as a bottleneck from it. Outside of that, had another training session this morning with Abdel, and it was mostly pushing stuff and a bit of core. Suffice it to say, I face planted quite a number of times from some of these press up exercises. It was quite amusing, when you literally just think you're going to be able to do something and then you can't, and your face just drops to the floor because your arms give out. So that was a bit of fun. But what I noticed this evening, dare I say it, when I was getting changed, I had just the little inkling of the little, I don't know how you call it, the little lines sort of above the hip, like kind of triangular lines that kind of above the hip that go towards the groin, where there's starting to be a bit of muscle definition. You see it like the kind of Brad Pitt has it kind of thing. I was like, wow, it's working. I'm getting in shape. So that was really encouraging. And then tonight we actually went for a walk, Simona and I. I finished working about 9:15, and she came in and said, why don't we go for a walk? I thought, what a great idea. So we just come back from a stroll, only out for about an hour. It's about 11 o'clock now. And it was lovely. I mean, Christ, there's so much life in Ischia right now, so many people. and I don't think I've been out for a walk for about 6 weeks, certainly a month. And that was lovely to see, but also really challenging because all the cafes and bars and restaurants are open, all the shops as well. And, all the smells. Oh, the smells of such great food. So I've got to remember my little lines. My lines above my, on my hips. That's what I'm going for. I can't eat the bad stuff. That said, on Thursday we are going out to socialise for the first time in months. And I will drink and eat some stuff that night. Ha! But so that's me. Thanks for listening. Those are my thoughts for today. That is the view from the crow's nest. If you want to know anything more about anything at all, come hit me up on Twitter at Romeo Crow. And thank you for listening. I really do appreciate it. And I bid ye a good morning, noon, night, afternoon, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Take care of yourself. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye.